repurposed freighter drifts through space. As you stare out at the star-flecked void, another ship comes in. Wait, is this sci-fi? I thought we agreed on a World War II campaign. Oh. Did we? That's cool. I can pivot. The smell of smoke curdles in your nostrils. Hold up, I thought we were prepping for a zombie apocalypse campaign. Alright, here's what we're doing. It's the year 3700. Humanity's elite fled to other planets long ago, taking with them all forms of advanced technology. Earth survivors scrape by with historic tools as weird phenomena plague abandoned nuclear sites. Witnesses report seeing glowing lights and the dead rising from their graves. And amidst the chaos, 3 strangers will meet in a dim bar. A veteran zombie slayer, a disgraced general out for revenge, and a space mercenary sent to investigate the power plants. Now describe your characters. How did you do that? I have the right tools for the job. Your repurposed freighter.
A new follower has joined the fray.
As you stare out at the star-flecked void, another ship comes in. Wait, is this sci-fi? I thought we agreed on a World War II campaign. Oh. Did we? That's cool. I can pivot. The smell of smoke curdles in your nostrils. Some maps are drawn but never followed. Some adventures dreamed of but never experienced. To the Mad Mage, this was the greatest sin of all. He asked each of us, if you really want to be great, how far will you go? For over 15 years, we had no answer for him. Until today. Our journey to Castle Zagyg starts now. The fortified town of Yigsburg hums with life. Traders, rogues, and scholars all gather together on the edge of the unknown. Depending on your neighborhood, the cobbled streets may be lined with strangers of an unscrupulous sort, but make no mistake, the people here hold the key to untold wealth and knowledge. Beyond the town's walls, past the rivers and the rolling hills, the ruins await. Crumbling towers, forgotten halls, and a darkness that stirs again at last. Most who enter the caves below may never be seen again, but those who do emerge will be remembered in legends for generations to come. And beneath it all, deep in the belly of the world, lie the upper floors of the dungeons. In this lightless place, you'll find twisted experiments, lost artifacts, and horrors unseen by mortal eyes. These are the first 5 layers of a labyrinth built by the Archmage Zagyg himself. This is more than a campaign setting. It's a gateway to adventures beyond your wildest dreams. So, will you walk with me, traveler? Don't you want to be great? How far will you go?
Trollord Games. Join the fray.
The time-traveling trolls are here indeed.
We are here.
So there was a slight mix-up on Grace's part. She put the wrong date in the newsletter. So, so she put the 25th, which is yesterday. So it's always yesterday at Trollord Games. Keep that in mind. It's always yesterday.
How's everybody doing today? Everybody doing all right? Good to see everybody hanging out there. What's good? What's news?
Hey, are we live? Oh, my stream is dead. All right, let me refresh that. All right. Good.
I hope we're live. Yeah, they seem to be responding properly. Hey, Terry, what's up? What's up there, Peter Bradley? Marsup, Dan?
Peter. Oh, Peter, we were supposed to meet. Davis said let's meet at 2:30 today. Damn it.
I had a meeting too today, but they never called me.
I was actually working on, drum roll, no one needs a drum roll for this, the Saline Watershed, which is the next expansion book for the Codex of Air. That's what I was doing this afternoon. Good times. But we are actually here not to jibber-jabber about that, but to jabber about Castle Zagyg and all things Gygax and Jim Ward today. We're going to let people trickle in for a minute or two, and then I'll give you the brief history of what's going on here as much as I can with the legal blah, blah, blah. But I think this is all mostly in the clear, I believe. And some of the story I don't know. Very few people even know the interactions anymore. But that doesn't matter. I'll give you everything that I can, and then we will dive right into the unboxing. So for those of you who don't know, my name is Stephen Chenault. This is Chuck Cumbo with me. We're doing an unboxing today. We have a BackerKit campaign, a BackerKit crowdfunding campaign running right now. It is at 457,000, I think, last time I looked at it. So it's doing extraordinarily well. This is to bring out Gary Gygax's magnum opus, Castle Zagyg, and the environs, the castle, the dungeons, Iggsburg, and all of that stuff.
458.
Well, thank you, Bella Morte. Thank you very much. That is very cool. Bella said he put it on Mr. Ward's Facebook page.
Oh, nice. 458, 272. Where we're at.
Oh, 458. Excellent. We'll be here about 30 minutes today. We're going to get into the opening in about 2 minutes and see what is actually in here. But if you haven't checked the campaign out, definitely go check it out. It is going to be an absolute. Can I send her that? How's that for a shot, Chuck?
That's beautiful. Well, there
we go.
We'll see how it turns out. Currently, the dragon mouse pad is catty cornered in the corner.
Yeah, I kind of thought that looked cool.
Oh, okay. No problem.
What if we did?
Hey, Ray, before your question gets lost, very soon, my friend, I've got to finish one more thing in the foundry side of stuff, and then I think it will be good to turn the keys on. Should have that done this week, my friend. I just don't want to be specific, Shit always happens. Anyway.
This is the original mug that Trollord Games put out back in 2000, and you can see the Aryan dragon on the side there. All right.
Yes, today's a short stream, guys, because we're going to be streaming every day except Saturday until the project ends. So some will be a little longer, some will be a little shorter. Like we've got.
I hope not. Go ahead, Chuck.
Oh, real quick, just give you guys a really quick understanding of what we've got planned. We've not really put this out here too much. Thank God you're all Thor Thunders here.
He's here. The day is saved.
Troza. So we're going to be streaming every day except Saturday until it ends. We've got 4 games lined up. I'm going to be running Steve and Davis through all 3 volumes. Castle Zagyg, not the whole thing, but bits and pieces of it.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it would be crazy. Day 73. And then after we're going to do that. They're going to try to escape. We're going to do another unboxing as well for the upper works and some more AMAs, right? So some mix of stuff.
We're awesome. All Thor Thunders. Thank you, Dark Elf Twilight. That remains the logo. We've had 4 or 5 logos for the company over the years. That remains my favorite logo. I absolutely love it.
Dark Elf, my wife has one in the refrigerator trying to get me to drink it. I haven't yet fallen for it, for trickery, for a blackberry Dr. Pepper.
All right. Let's do this, right? Let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to give you the brief history of what's in this box. So when So we were working, for those who don't know, we were working with Gary Gygax on Castle Zagyg. And I'm just going to use, for the rest of this stream, I'm going to use the words Castle Zagyg to include everything that the castle, the dungeons, the environs, the city of Vicksburg. Okay. So we were working on Castle Zagyg, and we had released one hardcover book and one boxed set when he crossed over. And a few months after that, the licenses were pulled, and we no longer had the rights to do that. Now, Gail, of course, being Gary's wife, she owned all of the licenses, and she hired James Ward, a very good friend of Gary's, a very good friend of mine, a tremendous friend of the Trolls, most known in our camp for writing the Storyteller's Thesaurus, but also the Starship Warden that we put out 2 years ago or something. Jim was just a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful human being. And we miss him dearly. But Gail hired him to write Castle Zagyg. Now, he wrote it, to my knowledge. This is all I know, and I don't know a whole lot. But to my knowledge, he wrote it, and it was never published. Well, I know it was never published. But and these notes that are in this box ended up on Luke Gygax's desk, I think from Jim, but I really don't know. I don't really know that story. If Luke were here, I'm sure he would tell us. But I asked Luke, I said, hey, look, we need now that, especially now that we lost Ernie Gygax, Gary's son, a couple of weeks ago. A whole fount of knowledge, is gone. A whole font of knowledge is gone. So we need everything we can get to figure out, what Gary's real vision is. Jim Ward obviously worked with Gary for many, many years, and they were good friends. And so his input, it was going to be invaluable. We had talked to Jim quite a bit about helping us. We were going to bring him on as a consultant. So I cannot stress how much I enjoyed working with Jim Ward. Absolutely cannot stress this. So anyway, so I hollered at Luke, and Luke he sent this up to me. Not sure why it's in a fragile box, but I have no idea what's in here.
Yeah, he's not touched this, guys. This is crazy.
Yeah, I have absolutely no idea what's in this box. I don't know what Luke sent. He said it's not dangerous. I'm not sure what that meant, but so I guess that's
check for traps.
Yeah.
Malaki says he paused an episode of the X-Files for this, just so you know how dedicated he is.
Excellent. Hey, being a huge fan of the X-Files, I know what kind of sacrifice that is. What season you're in? All right, let's see what we got from Mr. Jim Ward. We got bubble wrap to begin with. Maybe it's an actual. This is promising. Okay, this is a monstrous. Okay, this thing is monstrous.
Ooh, another one of those kind of deals, huh?
So.
Mutant butterflies, beware. That's great.
So I kind of know what I've got here.
You do?
And we're gonna piece through some of it. But so Gary wrote Castle Zagyg on notebook paper and tons of graph paper, and I've had access, I should say, to this stuff, and we've been trying to piece it together. At some point in the past 15 years, everything kind of got jumbled up and mixed up. So getting that stuff together has been challenging. What we now have in front of us is Jim Ward's notes on Castle Zagyg. So this is absolutely fantastic. Level West 2 encounters Orc Chief, role-playing treasure. We got some traps.
Wow.
It looks like Opal Jelly in Chamber 2. So this is Trigi. So this is Gary's typewritten notes on the West dungeons, level 2 West. So Gary's maps are all over the place. I shouldn't say all over the place. They're kind of scattered, but he's got like in level 3, he's got, I want to say it's level 3. I think it's 7 maps. And then there's and there's a sub level 3A there's sub-level 3A East, sub-level 3A West, which we assume one is the east side and one is the west side. And then the upper level has 7 of those. I should say 3A and 3A sub-level East, 3A sub-level West, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say? It's just a lot. But on level 3, I believe it's 7 maps. So this and level 2, I haven't looked at level 2 because we already mapped that out. Clearly, if we dove into Gary's maps, it's going to be a level 2 West. This is some notes we got here. So just to give you an idea of what I'm holding, it is It is a notebook of Jim Ward's notes on Gary Gygax's material. Let's start flipping through. Now, so this is you can see this page here. I'm not going to show you the whole page. We can't do that legally, but I can show you this much. And you can just see these are Gary's notes. This is what he wanted on this level. Yeah, here's more dungeon maps. So what this is going to be is all of Jim's notes, which is going to be, so these little circles, like, again, I can't open the whole thing, but I can show you a little bit. These little circles are Jim Ward's notes on Gary's notes. So Jim must have studied all of this and figured out where everything goes math-wise.
Right.
Flipping that and covering it up with my hands a little bit. So
I will make a note real quick, guys. On Gary's Bible that Steve got, it was not disorganized at all, was it, Steve?
No, not at all. So what we have now, and this is going to come in tremendous handy. It's going to be tremendously handy. How would I say that? I'm not sure how to say that for Mike Stewart, because here we have Jim has already kind of mapped out things. Level West. This is level West 3, level West 3 entrances. This is what I was just talking about. This is a steeply slanting magical passage up to West 2. Once the characters begin walking down this slant, it is impossible for them to walk back. If they try to retrace their steps, they will still end up on level West 2. There is a set of yellow and red sparks floating in the air like fireflies with star-like in appearance that warns the players they are traveling down a magical way. So this is to give, for those of you who are just joining us, this gives us, let me just kind of give you the backstory for Castle Zagyg. It was created by the Archmage Zagyg, and he was insane. The magic user himself, Gary's magic user, was insane, and he created these dungeons as a form of entertainment for himself, allowing adventurers to go in and the mayhem that would follow. If you live or not, that's up to you, not to the Mad Mage. So it's going to be just lined with traps, all kinds of stuff. Just tons of notes. So here's like 20 pages of notes on level 3 alone.
Wow. That's crazy.
Chamber 17. This is a large circular chamber. In the chamber are 10 man-tall urns with brass lids. The giant cobra is 90 feet long and wraps itself around the urns. So clearly there's a cobra in that room.
You know what I find interesting about this, Steve, is the fact that you're not surprised at all.
What do you mean?
This is pretty much the way they did things. All of them did. It was kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it was a different world, and I shouldn't say that. In the 70s, it was very different, and I know that 70s, when most of this was play tested in the 70s, and I know that it's the old school guys are always wandering around saying it was much more deadly and dangerous. It was, and it wasn't. I had many characters. I didn't have many characters survive, but other people did. But I played like an idiot, so I died like an idiot. My characters died frequently because I played recklessly. If you played recklessly in the 70s, you died. But if you didn't play recklessly, you might still die because the dice go against you. But the games were harder in that context, but you could absolutely play smarter. You didn't have to play, like some kind of lunatic. Right. Go ahead, John.
I was just going to say, and also, guys, I didn't mean to mispresent that Gary's notes were jumbled because of Gary. It's because other people had pilfered through them over the years. I had nothing with Gary. Not at all.
Yeah, so what's happened, Gary had this large gray notebook, much like this one that you see in front of you, and all of this stuff was in there, and it got removed from the notebook at some point. We don't know who did it or why it was done. It could have been Gary that did it way back in the day, but in the 15 to 18 years, however many years it's been since Gary crossed over, the stuff has moved from spot to spot to spot to spot. And we all know how that goes when you start moving stuff and it's not secured in some kind of box or ledger or something. I pull a sheet out to go show Davis, hey, here's the original notes for, Castles and Crusades encumbrance rules.
Right.
And then I put them on the table, and then we eat dinner, and then I leave, and Davis picks these up. Oh, what are these? And he sticks them in a desk drawer, and 5 years later, they're, Davis's, they probably ended up in the burn pile. But that's how these things happen. That's how we get scattered. So what Jim has done we got a fire-breathing Hydra right here. What Jim has done has clearly organized this stuff, putting it all in these nice slide sheets, tons and tons of stuff. And
that's cool.
I was making those photos.
Look at that dungeon.
Here's the classic dungeon. You can see bits and pieces of it and Jim's notes on top of it.
And this was for what? What was this for right here?
This was Jim. He was hired to do Castle Zagyg, to write it by Gail Gygax,
Oh, okay.
and he did.
Okay.
My understanding from Jim is that he actually finished it, and I don't think this looks like these are Gary's notes that were given to Jim, or that no, these are going to be. I'm sorry, these are going to be Jim's notes. Absolutely, Jim's notes. I know what these are. So these are Jim's notes taken from Gary's stuff that we're now going to be able to use to dive into, to give to Mike and Davis. Davis will be consulting as well. But yeah, just, I mean, there's so many. So, so here's Gary's notes. You can kind of see it here again, legal. I can't show you too much, but these are going to be Jim. I'm guessing these are Jim Ward's notes. This is Level West 5, Special Level West features. Just tons and tons.
Wow.
And this goes on and on. Paper clips, notepads.
That is cool
So
shit right there. That is cool, man.
This is going to be beyond invaluable to what's happening. I got to quit showing you that map.
Yeah, because I'm gonna drive down there right now in just a few minutes.
Gotta cover that up.
This is pissing me off that I'm not like living down there right now. So I go walk in there and look at it. But
Yeah, Finneran just brought up a fantastic point. I hope that Jim gets some of the other credit along with Gary.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. We will absolutely. I did not know that Jim's notes were this extensive, and looking them over, they're pretty complete. I'm very happy with what I'm reading. Trying to find something that I can read without exposing these maps. Here, we'll take this Amazon.
Dan's right. You need to back this stuff up some way.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. So this here, can you see that? Yeah, so this here is going to be Jim's notes. I'm not quite sure what A, B, C, and D is. Room numbers, maybe. Side level west. So this is what I was talking about earlier. West 3A, there's so many maps. This is a steeply slanting magical passage, randomly taking the characters to West 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8. Roll a d4 and place them in the middle of the level. So that sentence right there gives you a fantastic idea of what Dungeons and Dragons role-playing used to be like back in the 1970s. Completely random. You're going to end up, there's nothing beyond, there's no explanation here, right? There's no in-depth study of why Zagyg did this. If you go down this corridor, you're going to roll a d4, and then you're going to end up somewhere else in the dungeon to, live or die or whatever it is. And the DM's just going to flip to that page and go. So I absolutely cannot thank Jim Ward enough for this. He's even got these very handy little, you can see here, there's a number 6. He's even got it labeled that way. There's number 9. I mean, this is absolutely, this is number 5. This is like an archivist got into this and fixed this stuff. This is
for sure.
So we will have to give Jim, I will start getting this stuff put together and out to Mike Stewart. I want to thank Luke for sending this over, and posthumously thank Jim Ward for doing all of this crazy work on this stuff. And we will definitely give him a credit. No doubt. We were going to do a big thank you anyways. Even the little that Jim and I were able to talk about it. Somewhere I was kind of hoping in this, and it may be buried. He sent me a graphic. I
A
think
new
it's
follower
online.
has
Some of you may have
joined the
seen
fray.
it. Where, I'm not seeing it in here, where Gary had sent him kind of a cutaway of the castle and all 27 levels of the dungeon. In the center of this cutaway,
A new follower has joined the fray.
2 more. One was another castle and a third castle, and then a dungeon underneath those. And one was marked elves, and one was marked dwarfs. So I really don't know what that was. And I'm gonna pour through this stuff over the weekend and into next week, and see if he mentions that in there, because that is huge. For everyone just joining us, catching up, this is a manuscript that Jim Ward worked on for Castle Zagyg. He was hired after TLG lost the licenses back in 08, 09, or 10. I'm not really sure what year. And Jim was hired to write Castle Zagyg, and I believe that he finished it so far as just kind of fleshing it out, what goes. But it was never published, and why it was never published, I don't know. It probably is not ready and probably needs a heavy edit updated content, for whatever RPG. So that would be my guess, but I'm just theorizing at that point. But I can tell you that this will be beyond invaluable for Mike and myself and David as we plunge forward to bring this product together. This will help. This will help immeasurably, and we will absolutely thank Jim now and thank him again and again and again.
Oh, he's great. A few questions. Everybody's been really just talking about it, but Terry DM 1978 asks, "Are you aware of any original CZ related notes that are not in your possession that possibly could be used in the new box sets?"
So not that I know of, unless Rob Kuntz probably has material that we can't use for a bunch of legal reasons, which I can't go into. You all can figure that all out. But so Rob Kuntz probably has some. I was really hoping to tap Ernie's brain, just because Ernie really had great memory for this type of stuff. Luke was still very young and remembers a lot, but Ernie was older and was really vested into this. So I was hoping to tap into his brain. But so far as I know, the estate still has all of the notes that were done. Jeff Talanian probably has some stuff, but I'm in pretty constant contact with Jeff. So he's been crazy helpful. Anytime I give him a shout, Jeff is crazy helpful to look at all this stuff, help us out, and blah 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 blah. Mm-hmm. He and Gary talked to many, but I don't think there are any more, but you never know.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Are there any more questions?
There are a couple. These are related to the project going on. No, this is not a future book, Oddwin, man. This is what was going to be Castle Zagyg before we got the license back, when Jim was going to do it previously for Gail, Gary's wife at the time of his passing. Let's see. Declassified. We've got a couple here. It's kind of interesting. So is the intent for the stretch goals, the print version of Castle Zagyg, the portrait, Garm Village, and CK Screen are not in print but PDF format? They're in, guys. I'll just go ahead and answer you that. Some of it is PDF at the lower levels, but at the higher levels it's more, because some of the stuff we had to pay, like for example, the Portrait of the Mad Mage. Me and Steve were just talking about this. We're just not having somebody just draw something. They're actually making a real painting of it. You know what I mean? So anytime you bring an artist in, there's going to be extra cost for that. But Steve, is anything you want to address with that as well? I will say this much. We did add all the stretch rewards that we've gotten so far onto the project as separate add-ons today. So if there's something you really want, but you don't want to buy the higher tier, you can go in and grab it for yourself. That just came live just right before the stream, actually. So we do have that going on.
Yep. Yeah. So the portrait is being painted in oils, so it's going to be a professional portrait done by Wesley Gardner. So.
Yeah, Wesley Gardner, the guy that did the Hermit. Right.
Yes, the guy who did the cover for the Hermit.
Right.
Any other questions?
That's about it right now. I think everybody's just kind of all excited. We're very excited about it. Can you tell me what the deal is with that picture with you and Jim I found?
Let me see. Where is that one?
You're going to laugh when you see it. I don't think you've seen that before. I'm sure you've seen it before.
Where are we eating pizza? Okay, so this is one of the things I missed terribly with Jim's crossing over last year. Every Gary Con, so Jim and I met many years ago when he was working on Dragon Ball Z, I think is the card game that he put out at GTS. And ever since that point in 2005 or whenever that was, anytime Jim and I were in the vicinity, we would hang out, talk and whatnot. But at GaryCon, every year at GaryCon, starting with GaryCon 3, GaryCon 1 was the funeral, Gary's funeral. GaryCon 2, I missed for personal reasons, and GaryCon 3 and 4 I've been to. So starting at GaryCon 3, Jim Ward and I would go have a big old steak dinner with beer and ice cream and the whole 9 yards. Nice. And over the years, Tom Tullis from Fat Dragon Games would join us. So he became a regular at the table. Tim Burns, who worked for us, was a regular. Joe Goodman would join when he was in town. So it became this yearly Saturday night dinner where Jim, myself, Tom, and Joe, and Tim would all gather and eat, drink, and be merry. It is some of my fondest memories in the gaming industry. We really didn't talk shop very much. It was, just talking, like old friends do. So, of course, that ended last year, but Jim's just good people. So that picture that you're looking at there, I don't remember where that is. We usually had steak, but that's clearly a pizza in front of us.
Yeah, Clearly.
Yeah.
A big one, too. It's at.
That almost look like it's at the convention, but I don't think so. But it may be.
I don't know.
So
I really don't know.
that one's probably maybe in the early. That's probably at the next door pub there in Lake Geneva, because that's my favorite place to eat in Lake Geneva is the next door pub. Absolutely love that.
It was at Gary Con. I know that much. So I would say
Yes,
that's probably it. That'd be my guess.
Here, since the unboxing is over, I'm just going to put the player's handbook.
Yeah, I was going to ask you to put something there that would be,
People have something to look at.
We had another question about that. Can you clear this up for me real quick, Stephen? Another guy's asking about why we didn't have PDFs included with the printed set, the printed version.
So we do at the $230 level. At the 180 level, we have so many people when we run these crowdfunding campaigns, and I know a lot of the people who have posted aren't that way, but so many people who don't want the PDF. They don't want to pay for the PDF. They don't want anything to do with the PDF.
Nope.
And they always ask us for a PDF free level.
Yeah.
And that's what the 180 level is for. It's the bare knuckles. I just want the books. It's honestly the type of person I doubt I would. I have PDFs. I never look at them. I'm kind of a book guy. Even my son asked me the other day, did Vladimir Lenin die of blood poisoning? And I pulled 3 biographies out on Lenin and poured through the text for about an hour to find out where that actually came from. And it was a German doctor, by the way, who said that he probably died of lead poisoning because he had been shot several times and the bullets were made of some kind of lead, blah, blah, blah. So that 180 is for those people out there who just want the books and don't want to mess with download codes and all of that other stuff. They pledge, they get their books, they put them on their shelves, and they kill characters with them afterwards. So that's what the 180 is designed for. Me too, Dark Elf. I try. I'll occasionally do it, and I know it's a great resource, especially when you do the find function. I gotta find, whatever. I gotta find who said Lenin got shot, and died of lead poisoning, but I just don't ever do it.
That's interesting.
And the swag, yeah, Wolf Alone is right. The swag at the 230, it's always, our Kickstarters are always this way. BackerKit campaigns always this way. The bare knuckle ones stay bare knuckles because those people generally who pledge there don't want all of this. They just want to pledge, go home, and never think about it again until it arrives. We are including the cutaway for them in this, but it'll be, I think we're doing print on that too, I think, at the 180, because the cutaway is pretty important.
So a couple comments, one for that and one another question. This is from the Jarl Thor Thunder. He's first. I'll ask this first because this sort of tags on to what you're saying. He said we need a PDF full package as an add-on, like the print is, to be able to be purchased, and that would be the $80 level, correct?
Yeah, that's the $80 because the $80 are getting all the PDFs. Yeah,
they're getting you're getting all the PDFs there, unless you're wanting. I'm not sure.
Yeah, just go to the $80 level, and then you're just going to be jam packed with PDFs.
Yeah.
We are going to send PDFs of the same map, though. We're not going to do that.
Yeah, I thought that would be hilarious. 8 PDFs of the same thing. Oh, the CNC core books is what I was talking about. An add-on for them to be purchased by themselves. Oh, for PDF only? I can do that. Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a very good idea.
I'll do that when I get off the stream. Yeah, I've got it on there for print, I think, but I think I did PDF. His next question was, I have a question. How will you integrate stuff?
Yeah, I think when we tried that years ago, we tried to really link all of our PDFs so that you could go and click this and it would take you to this PDF in a book. But it became this monstrous task. And anytime a printing was done, the old PDFs were wrecked doing that. So we ended up spending so many hours doing that that it just didn't prove cost effective for TLG. But you are 100% right. That time, if PDFs were like that, that would be very, very, very helpful. What was the next question?
That's from Jarl. He said, I have a question. How will you integrate stuff that is about levels already produced and released? If Jim Ward's notes had notes on level 3 of Castle Zagyg, then how would they be integrated now that the backer is already releasing book 3, which is 2 to 5, as a sub-level? Or question mark, as a sub-level?
So what we're going to do now, so I'm not going to mess with level 1 at all. Level 1 stays as is, as Jeff Tinian wrote it, primarily because Jeff wrote it and Gary worked on it with him. So that with Gary's eyes were on target, right? So we're not going to change level 1 at all. Now, anything beyond level 1, which now all of that includes the castle stays the same, Edgeburg stays the same, and the Eastmark Folio stays the same. From level 2 forward, we will make changes and adjustments. I'm going to send this material over to I actually have level 2 on my desk. We will send this stuff over to Mike, and he and I will begin kind of parsing it. And he's going to have to just change where it fits the mold. Now, some of Jim Ward's, we're not going to use it, but what Jim Ward's stuff is going to do is really give us a good idea of the mayhem that magic can cause in Castle Zagyg, and we want to make sure that's translated. And then going forward, levels 3 and beyond, he's in level 3 right now. He's waiting for me to answer some questions about level 2 before he finishes level 3. From level 3 on, I'm going to send this over to Mike and let him read it and let him see, and then he can incorporate as he wants to. He's got lots of questions about Gary's notes that, frankly, it's going to be ever more difficult to answer. And if Jim, with this book here, has already answered those questions, then all the better. Having been, I'm not going to speak out of turn, but I think that Jim played in Castle Zagyg as well. I'm not 100% certain that Gary ran him in that, but I think that he did.
Okay, let's see here. Trying to catch up on the questions real quick. They're sneaking in there on me. Let's see.
Yes, read.
There's our Terry D in 1970 asked, have you considered publishing a chronicle of everything you've gone through to get CZ published? It would be great to have a historical document of the life of the castle and the insanity behind it all.
That is an absolutely brilliant suggestion. I think that is a great idea. If you go to the Trollord webpage, there's a wiki page on there. There's a Trollord wiki page. You can get to it from our page, and it's our own wiki. It's not part of Wikipedia. It uses the same format, however that works. And I've been slowly kind of fleshing out the history of TLG over time. But that right there is an absolutely fantastic idea. I think it would be a nice, maybe an appendix to one of these books. That would be very cool. I think we're going to do that. Who said that? Now we got to give him credit. Who said that? I missed who said that.
It was, I don't know. I've done erased it. I've done erased it a few times.
We are doomed.
No, it's probably back in here. Okay, so let's see. Commander Pete asked, are there any hints on what stretch rewards may be available beyond the 500K?
Not yet, but we will have that kind of ironed out tomorrow. We got to get Davis has got all kinds of ideas. We got to talk to Davis.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But
yes,
someone made a
Dark
comment.
Elf Twilight. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's see.
Dark Elf asks, is the Mad Mage Zagyg going to have a stat block? And yes.
Okay, I would
He's
leave
godlike, so be prepared.
So CGKR 13 asks, what's the estimated ETA to receive the books after the BackerKit campaign ends? And I think Chris from YouTube asked the same question more or less.
We are hoping that when this finishes, that we'll be able to get the first. I'm debating as to whether we're going to go ahead and release the PDFs of the previously published version. I think we're going to do that. I haven't decided yet, but we're hoping to have the printed versions at the printer fourth quarter this year, no later than first quarter next year. And I don't see that not happening unless some gigantic explosion, which has happened before. But shouldn't happen again. No, I need some wood. I'm gonna have to look. I've got one of these guys. When I'm writing, I turn this on, so I'll knock on wood.
He does this because I start having flashbacks.
This is the greatest thing ever. When I start writing, I turn that on. It's amazing. It's good stuff.
All right, let's see. Winter the Third asks, can you add the Hermit CK screen on as an add-on? Also, if you had some merch add-ons, I bet folks would get into it. And we've had a few people ask to put shirts on there, and I know someone mentioned in there about hats, which we're working on that. But maybe we'll look and see. As far as the screen's concerned, I don't care putting that on there. We've got the book on there. That makes sense, right?
Yeah, I would recommend if you want those screens, unless you're outside the United States, just go ahead and order them because you can get them now or wait 8-9 months, but they're for sale on their website. Yeah,
that's the one thing about anything we put up there for add-ons. It will be going out whenever this finishes. It's going to be a bit. So
Commander Pete says that would drive me insane.
It drove me insane. Listen to him one day for 2 hours. Jesus. He was going to stream doing that. He streamed doing it, guys. I've got that stream somewhere. Crazy. Jeb Gordon asked, if you pledged at 180, can you later add the PDF or do you need to do it before the campaign ends? No, you can upgrade later. When we get back around again, this is such a huge project. I'll have a way for you to upgrade pledges and stuff in there whenever we get around to the nitty gritty of getting your surveys filled out. No worries on that. Let's see. Dark Elf Twilight, is the Mad Mage going to have a stat block? You answered that already, I believe.
I did.
Savage Splinter asks, does Steven still own that red shirt? Red shirt.
Is it the Dr. Pepper shirt? Because my sister has that. If that's what you're talking about.
She stole it from you. She stole it from you, didn't she?
Oh, wait. He's talking about in the picture. Yes, I do still have that
Oh,
shirt.
yeah, he's got that shirt for sure. I can verify that. Yes, he does have that shirt. Oh, my God. Okay. Let's see.
It's so hard to find comfortable clothing that when I do, I don't like to get rid of.
No, that is exactly right about him. He won't give up something comfortable. That's for sure. The dogs are going wild because my wife has approached the castle. Manfred von Breck says, suggestion for a stretch goal. Give everyone involved in producing this a bonus. Oh, wow. I cannot comment. I cannot comment on that.
Slow down.
Let's see. The Revenantine says, I am at the $230 pledge level and $45 of PDF add-ons. Can I revisit the BackerKit in a month and add that 100? Oh, there you go. Yeah, absolutely. When will the CNC PDF? I'm sorry.
I was going to say, I think for a bonus, we will give everyone a 1976 Chevette.
You had me at Chev. At Chev. The F part was a little off there, though. Well, wait a minute. Can we upgrade for a Pinto? Anyway.
No, there you go. My first car was a Chevette.
Can I revisit BackerKit in a month and add the CNC $100 book pack? When will the CNC PDF and print books be fulfilled? Will we need to wait for the Castle Zagyg? That's the only thing about the add-ons. I probably should put something to let people know about that. I mean, I don't know how much of a problem it will be for us to go back and do that. What do you think, Steve? I don't know. About
what was the question? I was reading Sparky's. Sparky says Steve wants people to quit TLG with that book.
So that's a good question. So as far as I know, anything we put on as add-ons outside the Zagyg stuff, you'll pretty much have to wait for the Zagyg stuff to fulfill to get it shipped, right? So that's the only downside of that, right? That's the only downside of that.
It factors all of the shipping charges in one bundle, so we can't really split it. We've split one Kickstarter or one crowdfunding campaign, and it's Reforged Kickstarter from last year, and it is a biblical nightmare.
It is. It really is. And what the problem is we've got to stop everything and reset up a whole nother fulfillment just for that stuff. And
yeah, what's funny is I was talking, the Armory Kickstarter should start shipping next week, and I told Dakota, who's going to be heading up the shipping, I said something about we're gonna have to move some stuff around to get this stuff out the door fast. And he goes, wait, please tell me we're not split shipping this. I said, no, we're not split shipping anything. Everything's
no,
good.
That was bad enough for Reforged. He about killed both of us. But yeah, it's tough. It really is. But I'm telling you, it's just. And what the problem is this one, these big ones like this, there is a lot of add-ons that people add on, right? So it's just like doing a whole nother fulfillment of a smaller Kickstarter or crowdfunding project. And mistakes are made, then you still got to fix those mistakes, which sometimes causes other mistakes to happen on the other fulfillment. Blah blah blah.
And it's funny too, because some of the biggest mistakes come from the PDF fulfillment. That probably that is far more time consuming than people realize. Chuck spends hours trying to get everyone their PDFs. It's absolutely nuts.
It's wild. Well, that's why we're moving to the store for a lot of this stuff. Chris from YouTube
says,
we
had agreed that on PDFs we were just going to print them and send them to people.
Okay. Anyways, Chris on YouTube says, are there plans for CZ being available for purchase through gaming stores after the campaign is over with?
Absolutely. As soon as this stuff lands on us, we will solicit it into distribution, and it will go to Canada, the United Kingdom, and from United Kingdom everywhere. And of course, ACD is our main distributor here in the States.
I will say this much. I'm not so sure how much of the stretch rewards will be available afterwards. We're not calling them exclusives because we won't be able to have them as add-ons and that kind of thing. But once it's all said and done, I'm not sure how much of that stuff will be up on the store to be sold.
Right.
Yep. Other than our main web store, that's something sometimes we can do a little different from distribution.
Yeah, the portrait won't be available.
Right.
There'll be quite a bit of it. It's not available.
Let's see. Odd Women ask, let's see, what is your favorite product and why? As specific as possible for you.
For me,
yeah.
So, man, I have to say the Codex of Error, and it's not because I wrote it. I did write it, but the Codex of Error is my campaign setting, and it's where I run all my games.
Yeah.
So I spend a lot of time in the Codex of Error using the material in there. Blah blah blah. So that's my favorite. Not far from that, Nah, the CKG. I like the CKG more than the Player's Handbook. I do more running games than playing them, and the CKG has so much alternate information in it that I love it. And then there's this one, which I use all the time.
Yep.
And then there's my favorite work by Gary Gygax. And then
All right, braggarts, you can stop any time, but you own the, he happens to own the company that published those, you know.
that is true.
I got one.
I have an inside track.
I've got one. I bought it in like a.
Wait. Probably my favorite published product, T1, The Village of Hum.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I bought my World Builder book in some bookstore chain, but I don't remember what it was. God, that's been forever ago. Maybe what was that? Books A Million, I think. Maybe. I don't remember.
Yeah.
It's been a long time ago. All right, 2 more questions, and we got to do our giveaways and get out of here before I'm murdered by Stephen's wife.
I got to be out of here in 3 minutes.
Yeah, or I'm going to be killed by someone else. So, all right. Possibly a stretch goal to add to fund. Add a stretch goal to fund getting Jim's notes photocopied and digitized.
Oh, very interesting.
And Gaming Head Northeast, yes, there will be ribbons in all the printed books and the leathers now because of the stretch goal was meant. That's right. Absolutely. All right, I'm going to switch over and do our giveaways. We'll get out of here, and then I'll drop the special link. Today I'm giving away a copy of the PDF to Amazing Adventures, The Ruins of Innsmeet. So if you've not checked out any of our AA stuff, check out this. It's a cool little adventure. It all works seamlessly in Siege, so it doesn't really matter if you want to do horror or whatever, but, you know, yada, yada. Let me get over and get that stopped, and I'll stop the giveaway. Steve, appreciate you coming on today and doing that for us. I really wanted to see those. That's really cool.
Yeah, this has been a great unboxing. Thanks everybody for showing up. This is very, very cool, and this is very, very good news for Castle Zagyg. I cannot stress how much Jim's organizational abilities, his notes, his writing, all is going to put us well ahead on the project.
My granddaughter's trying to FaceTime me. Hold on.
Yeah, I know. My granddaughter's over here also hollering at me.
That's so awesome. That's awesome.
So let's roll them out.
All right, let's do this. Get this over with. All right, so for the first winner, these are for $10 codes today. It's going to be off a PDF on the store. I'll give away 3 of those. First winner is going to be the Reventine. There'll be a link pop up right there to our Discord. Just join the Discord, and Obsidian Risk will get you a code. You can tag him. You can ask around. We'll get your code to you. But he handles all the codes. Our next winner is going to be Odd One Man. Congrats, Odd One Man.
Congratulations, Odd One Man.
Reventine, Odd One Man. And last but not least, Jeb Gordon. Rock on. Awesome.
Yeah, excellent.
Appreciate you guys a whole lot. I'm going to flip back over to here now and drop this link in the chat. This will be good for an hour or so, I think. So go grab it. Where is the thing right here? And guys, thanks everybody for hanging out. That is awesome. You guys are awesome for showing up.
Thank you all for coming out.
All right, here we go. I will drop this a few times and spam it in here. Go get that bad boy. That way I can see if it doesn't work. Should work, but the store will crash. I will tell you, it will crash.
The store's going to crash, but it'll
crash.
Keep trying.
It's going to crash.
Did it already crash?
Probably.
Nope, we're still up. Good deal.
Oh, that's no problem. We really appreciate all the support, guys. You know how we roll. We're trolls. Trolls! We don't care. We're gamers. You know?
Absolutely. Thank you all for coming out and joining us today.
Thank you
and
so
tomorrow
much.
We will plunge into the Citadel, Davis and I, getting killed.
Oh, that's right. We got the game tomorrow afternoon for you guys, and they'll be in the Citadel tomorrow, which is the Igsburg and the Eastmark, and see what I can run through them with that. I can't wait.
Yes, no,
I cannot wait. Yeah, I'm gonna drop the link one more time. It's going to be tomorrow. Is what did I think it's 4:30? I think right. Yeah, 4:30. I believe that is correct. 4:30 Central, of course. All right, everyone. We appreciate you for doing that. Let me check one thing real quick over here. I'm in the wrong. There we go. That is not right either.
Chuck.
We're going to raid into Darling Creepshow because I don't never get to raid into her. You met her.
Creepshow. Darling Creepshow is fantastic.
Yep, she played in your game. Remember?
Yes, I do.
Oh, and you saw her. You saw Gary Con too, though.
Yep, absolutely. She's
I
great.
will get this raid started. Thanks everybody again. We really appreciate you. Oh, and Damon, I got your email about the other giveaway. I got you, brother. I'll get you tonight, okay? If you're still listening. I saw you in here a while ago. Yeah, page not found. That's going to be, you know what? Let me try something here. Did everybody get it? Surely everybody got it, right? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, it's probably
All
just
right.
going to be. All right, we're going to raid out of here. We appreciate you guys so much. Have a great afternoon. If you have any problems at the store, you can email us at product support, and we'll get you taken care of. No matter what. Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys.
Take it easy, everybody.
We'll see you. I'll check the link right after this, Terry.